Hi guys, welcome to Mbali Talks. In today's video, I want to share with you 5 weird ways that you can save money for yourself without even thinking about it. If you just found our channel, you just landed on one of the best channels on YouTube right now, so please do join our community by hitting that subscribe button below. And also guys, please remember to hit the like button because it works for my YouTube algorithm. Also, if you've been with us since day one, thank you so much for coming back. You guys are the reason the channel stays alive, so thank you so very much for that. As mentioned in today's video intro, I want to share with you 5 weird ways that you can actually save money for yourself without necessarily thinking about it. These ways are ways that maybe you may have seen online but have thought to yourself you are not sure if they could actually work for you, and I am here to tell you, based on also my own experience, that these are definitely foolproof ways that you can save and or make a bit of extra income. Now, these ways that I'm going to share are not side hustles, guys. Like, I'm not here to share with you how you should start a business and blah 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 like we normally do in other videos. I just want to give you hacks and tricks that other people are using every time they want to make a bit of extra income, or every time they feel like, you know what, I'd like to save for something new in my house. These are the ways that people are using from all over the world, and I just thought to myself, let me come here and share them with you, as some of them are also my own personal experience. The first way that you can save money or make a bit of extra money for yourself without necessarily leaving your home and or starting a business is for you to sell your old clothes. And I know this may seem like a lot of work, or you may feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so emotionally attached to my clothes, but quite honestly guys, especially after the lockdown, none of us fit into our old clothes. So there's really no reason for you to be keeping them there when in fact you could exchange them for money. So how selling your old clothes works is that you can just easily go onto your own social media platforms, do a couple of pictures of your old clothing, do wash them of course before you sell them to people, do a couple of posts of your own clothing, put prices on them, and then sell as if you were a vintage shop. I found this to be actually an easy way for you to be able to make an extra 500 or even an extra 1,000 rand by selling off your tops, your shoes, your bags, 50 rand, 100 rand, 150 there. You will always find there's someone who's sitting on your social media who actually admires the way that you dress and or your style sense. This then becomes an opportunity for you to become sort of like a personal stylist for them, while at the same time getting a bit of extra money for yourself. So you may be wondering, how are you going to decide what to sell? It's very easy guys. Go into your wardrobe, take out all the items that you know for a fact you've not worn in the past 6 to 8 months. Those are items you're probably never going to wear again, but you're just keeping them there because maybe when you bought them you really liked the color, you thought, oh my gosh, that's such a cute pair of pants. However, quite honestly, they either don't fit or they are now out of style, so you're definitely not going to wear them. And even if they were to come back in style guys, style only rotates once every 30 years. So are you planning on waiting and keeping your clothes for 30 years before they can come back in style? I don't think so. And also, even if they were to come back in style, you probably would feel like you now want to shop the new styles in the shops and or from the brands that would be available at that time. So quite honestly, the clothes that you've not worn in the past 6 to 8 months are quite irrelevant to you. And even though you might think that they're now out of style, someone who follows you on social media could easily feel like, oh my goodness, I feel like that's such a cute top, you know. And even though you've not worn it in so long, for them it would still be a relevant item because it would be a new item to their wardrobe. And then also it's a win-win situation because you would be making money. I've also seen some influencers do this a couple of times when they're trying to declutter their wardrobe and create space in their houses, obviously for new things because they're always getting new products. But for you, it would be just creating declutter, or rather it would be you decluttering your wardrobe, creating space for all the new clothes that you're attracting into your life by selling off your old clothes. Kifilo has done this. Kifilo Mabote, if you follow on Instagram, she has sold out a couple of her expensive items, and because it's her, the garments were quite pricey for somebody like me, but for the people who know and understand the value of the garment, those things sold out like hotcakes. You may not have Gucci slippers or Louis Vuitton shoes, but there's definitely something in your wardrobe that you're sitting on that you're never gonna wear again, which could be a rare gem for somebody else. So my advice for you, if you want to make a bit of extra income, go into your social media, do a couple of posts of old clothing, sell it out, and make your ka-ching, girl. There's really no reason for you not to do it, because again, like I said, if you've not worn the thing for 8 to 6 months, you're never gonna wear it again. The second way that you can save money without you even thinking about it is for you to save unexpected income and financial gifts. I've often found myself with a situation where maybe it's my birthday and my friends decide, you know what, let's put together a bit of money because we don't know what to buy her, and just give her the money. Quite honestly, most of the time you find that the money that they give me does not necessarily go into buying the thing that they thought I was going to buy, even if I had given them a list prior. What usually happens is you get that money and then you think to myself, oh my gosh, it's my birthday, let me go and splurge, and you find yourself spending on things that you actually don't need, or things that you would not have necessarily bought if it was actually your own money, or if it was money that you're expecting, say for example like your salary or from your profit or from your dividends. And on the point of dividends, you do find that other people are part of investment accounts that actually pay off dividends twice a year, which is basically once in 6 months. Most of the time when that money comes through, you really have not planned for it, and also you're not even sure how much money it's going to be, so it makes it very hard for you to plan around it. And even though this method of saving unexpected income is not one that is consistent, but I found that it actually does help, and you get pleasantly surprised at the end of maybe a 3-month period or a 6-month period when you look back onto your savings account and see that little 500 or that extra 1000 or that extra 2.5 that you got unexpectedly now sitting in your entire savings account, and obviously making your balance even bigger. What I like about this method is the fact that, of course, because it's inconsistent, it does not need you to rack your brain to try and figure out how you're going to get an extra 500 rand from your budget to put into a savings account. No, it's literally you deciding that, you know what, if I get an extra 1.5, maybe because I got a bonus at work, or maybe some people win things at work, and it becomes financial gifts. I have this 1.5, I'm not even sure what I was going to do with it. So while I'm thinking what I want to do with it, which is going to be worthwhile, let me take it into my savings account. I do this a lot with my extra businesses because you find that I do get a bit of extra money every now and again, whether it's 5,000 rand, whether it's 2,000 rand, which quite honestly I could easily just keep in my account and keep swiping there at Zara or at Puma because I like their sneakers. But it doesn't make sense to live like that, because it would ideally mean I am living beyond my means, because I'm living beyond money that I knew I had. The best way to know what to do with that money is to take it, put into your savings account, decide what you want to do with it. Whether you want to plan a holiday, whether you decide it's the end of the year, it's my birthday like me, I'm a December baby, let me go and get myself a nice photo shoot. All those things then start being possible, or seeming like they're things that you're always doing. You're always in a photo shoot, you're always buying new clothes, you're always at restaurants. It's because of all that thinking to yourself to say, this money is from a gift and or a bonus that I got. I don't know what to do with this money, so let me put it away until a time comes, like the festive season, where now I am able to use it or to withdraw it from my savings account and use it for those types of activities. It's such an easy way to find yourself having a bit of extra money, guys. I would definitely advise you to look into things like that. The third way that you can save money without even thinking about it is definitely one of my favorite ways, guys. Like, oh my goodness. So I recently discovered an app called Stash, which basically is similar to the FNB's Bank Your Change platform, in the sense that it's basically you saving money using your card every time you swipe. So what I also liked about Stash is that you don't necessarily have to have a bank account with a particular bank, because the Stash app is actually a Liberty platform initiative where they allow you to link a card from any of the other banks onto the app in order for the app to work. So all you need to be on Stash is to download the app, enter your name, your contact details, as well as your card details. And I know when it comes to entering card details online, we do get a bit sensitive, but trust me guys, this is a platform that I've seen work not only just for me, but I've also seen it work for other people that I work with, because we're always comparing how much money we think we have made at the end of the week by just using Stash. So you upload your bank card from whichever bank and then decide how much you want Stash to deduct from you every time you use your card. Not only that, Stash has some fun features which are weird, but like I said, this is weird ways for you to make money. So what Stash does is, if you're a gym person and or if you like the sun or if you like sunny days, then Stash is the best app for you to use when you're trying to save money. With Stash, you can decide that every time it's a sunny day, the app should deduct that percentage of money from your balance, which can be anything from 2% to 3%. So every time the sun's out, you're out and about, at the market, having fun, Stash has already decided to remove 2% of your outstanding balance that is sitting in your own bank account in order to save it for you. And then the balance you see on the app itself every other day growing. It is so crazy. There's actually a guy at work we recently compared with, and in 1 week he had easily saved 1,300 rand. I don't even know what he was buying for him to be able to swipe that many times, but all I know is to be able to save 1,300 rand in a week is such an achievement, guys, because it's money that quite honestly you use to buy gum or to buy water at the petrol station. If you're like me, you're always traveling, you buy a Red Bull. Each time you swipe it, that money goes into the Stash app and is saved for you. By the end of the week, you don't even realize that, oh my goodness, I have actually swiped so much. You get to see it based on your Stash balance that comes up on the app to say to you, this is how much you've actually saved based on how much you've actually spent. The other fun thing about Stash is the fact that if you're actually a gym enthusiast, you could actually make money and or rather save money by just exercising. So say for example, you can set a limit to say every time you burn 100 calories, Stash should take 5% or they should take 0.05% of your balance. That's you deciding that every time I'm at the gym, a place that I love, doing activities that I actually enjoy, my banking app is saving money from me. It's a no-brainer, guys. Like, this is definitely the most fun way that I've seen that you can actually use to save money without you even thinking about it. And like I said, all you need to do is to have the app, upload your details, upload your card, and start stashing your money on the app. And then anytime that you want your money back, almost the same way that PayPal works, you just transfer your money from your Stash app into your bank account, which is obviously already linked to the bank card that is linked to your actual bank account that you uploaded, and your money is yours. It's such a simple and easy and convenient way to save, guys. I am so happy that Liberty decided to come up with this idea. I just feel like it's so innovative and it's so simple and it's so much fun. So I definitely advise you guys to check out the Stash app. And please do be careful when it comes to apps. There are those apps that are actually scams. So my advice for you is to go directly to Liberty to go and find out how Stash works and then get started from their platform. I've actually put their link in the description box so you can check it out if it's something that you'd like to try out. The fourth and most weird way that you can actually save your money is something that I've recently done, and that is to shave it all off. Cut your hair. So this method, to be honest, guys, is not the easiest method to follow, because I often feel like we cut our hair and tell ourselves that, you know what, I was spending 500 rand going back to the salon every month, now I don't have to. But when you look back 6 months down the line, you don't even know what has happened to that 500 rand that you've saved by virtue of you cutting your hair. And then also with natural hair enthusiasts, you find that your products that you're using on your natural hair or on your short hair are actually way more expensive than what you're spending if you were actually doing your hair. That's the tricky part. However, if you're somebody like me, you know, I cut my hair, I keep it short, I'm not trying to grow it into locks or whatever it is, and all I need every 3 weeks or every month is for me to just go back to the barber, retouch my color, cut, draw my line, and I'm out the door. Previously, you'd find that between washing my wigs, going to the salon to have them fixed, braiding my hair for me to be able to have the cornrows that sit underneath the wig, I would roughly spend about 700 to 1,000 rand, because Candy & Co. washing wigs does not come cheap. So maybe I was spending between 700 or 1,000 rand in any given month. And even though there are times where I would wash my wigs in the house, there's just those days where you want that salon touch with the straighteners and everything. And I thought to myself, you know what, I'd actually like to redirect this money for a couple of months, which has been basically the past 6 months, into something else that I would like to do as a small project. It's actually me trying to create capital for a new side hustle that I'm trying to have to see if it's going to work. But I didn't want to use money from my own bank account to do it. So I thought, you know what, the one way that I know that I can save money is to cut my hair. Now, between my barber, recoloring my hair, having to cut it and straighten it again, having to draw the line, I'm literally spending between 150 to 200 rand. That gives me a saving of 800 rand that I didn't even know I was spending every month doing that. And therefore now that leaves my budget with a bit more extra income for me to be able to play with. That's where your savings come in. And like I said, this method is very hard to follow because it requires you to really sit down with yourself and do the numbers to say, this is how much I'm paying my hairstylist every month, this is how much I'm actually going to save if I were to cut my hair. And then that difference, you put it deliberately into a savings account. You can even upgrade it to your Standard Bank ContraSave account, as per what we spoke about in a different video of how you can actually save money for your next holiday. You can do that with your bank to say, please now increase my stop order for my savings from 200 rand to maybe 500 rand, because now you are making that extra income of 300 rand that you're saving from not doing your hair. So if you're like me, you want to try out something new, you want to try to be disciplined with your money, chop it all off, honey. You have absolutely nothing to lose. Hair is always growing all the time. The fifth and last way that you can save money without even thinking about it must definitely go down in the books as one of the weirdest ways that I've used to save money, but also the most impactful method that I've seen. This is to e-wallet yourself every time you think you don't want to cook. So how does this work? You know how sometimes you're just feeling like, oh my goodness, I don't want to cook, so I'm going to get KFC, I'm going to get Nando's. What I then started realizing is that I'm spending a lot of money on takeaway trying to feed people, which honestly did not make sense for a majority of the time, because I mean, you're going to need to eat each and every day. So I started thinking to myself, if I was going to buy a full chicken at Nando's with 3 extra sides, I was probably going to spend about 225 to 250, maybe even 290 something. I think they have a package at that price, doing that thing. So I thought to myself, no, actually you do have groceries in your house, you're just lazy to cook. So what I would then do is decide, you know what, let me e-wallet myself 200 Rand into my e-wallet account from my current account and then cook. By the end of the week, I would easily find I have saved something from 700 to 800 Rand, because at different intervals, I would e-wallet myself maybe another 150, because I thought if on that day I was going to buy chicken licken wings, instead of buying those wings, let me cook. Then I subtract 150, I send it to my e-wallet. By the end of the month, guys, I would easily find myself with 5,000 Rand. And that was so crazy to me, because I used to think, oh my goodness, we spend so much money on takeaways without even realizing it. When in fact, once you do the math, by e-walleting yourself all the money that you'd be using on takeaway and cooking instead, you realize, wow, this is all the money that I would have spent in that period. I know that it sounds ridiculous that you must e-wallet yourself every time you don't want to cook, or every time you decide to end up cooking, because it almost seems like, but this is my money, it's already sitting in my account, why should I e-wallet myself? But the way that I think about it is this: you would have already paid that money to Uber Eats, Mr. Delivery, to Nando's drive-through, but because you didn't make it there, or you didn't go through the app and press and add to cart, that money basically should no longer even be in your account anymore. So what's the best solution? Remove it. And because it's such small amounts, I found it to be a bit tedious to think, let me transfer it to a savings account every time I feel like that. So which is why I created the e-wallet method. Trust me guys, like I said, this is the weirdest method that you can use for you to be able to save money without thinking about it, but it is definitely the most effective, because like I said, when you look back to your bank balance, your e-wallet bank balance, you realize, oh my goodness, I've actually saved this much. I'm laughing because the 1 year FNB literally sent me a message to say, now that my money has been sitting in e-wallet for so long, they're actually going to start charging me 30 Rand a month just to keep the account going. And I thought to myself, FNB must have realized that I'm now using this account as a savings account instead of just a convenience account to send money. And even though they're like, if you don't withdraw, we're gonna deduct 30 Rand every month from your account, I thought to myself, you can deduct that 30 Rand, honey. I actually have 4,000, 5,000, even 3,000 Rand at any given month sitting there just from the fact that I decided to cook instead of buying takeout. So that's definitely a crazy method that I would recommend for you to use. And also guys, please remember that if you use any of these methods, please just come back to tell me how it's actually going. You can try it out for 3 months or for 6 months, and then come back to say to me, whether via DM or via inbox or on email, as you guys always find me, and let me know how it's going, because I often feel like these are methods that I have often used in the past for me to be able to make a bit of extra money. And when you look at my life, if you follow me on social media, you're going to realize, oh my gosh, she's always out for breakfast, or she's having meetings at a restaurant and she's always spending money. It's those monies because I find myself now having a bit of extra money in e-wallet, or having a bit of extra money in my stash app, having a bit of extra money in my FNB bank change account, you know, and all these things are generated as and when you continue living every day. So it's not like you sitting down with your budget and saying, oh my goodness, I have to save 1,000 Rand a month, because when we do that, most of the time we don't meet the goals, as sad as it is. And imagine if you were to apply all those methods that I've just shared in this video in your way to save money. By the end of a 12-month period, trust me, you could have easily saved 10,000 Rand, and you'd be surprised that, oh my goodness, I've never saved money in my life, but here I am having a bit of extra money to decide now what I want to do with it. You can use it for Black Friday, which is a video that is coming up sometime soon on how you can actually save money during Black Friday. You can use it for that, or you can use it for a holiday, or you can decide, what, I've spoiled myself, or you can decide that maybe even at work you don't have a bonus, so that's a way for you to be able to save a bonus that you're now going to use for the Christmas and the festival season. So these are methods that I would definitely stand by, because they are things that I've done and implemented in my own life, and I've definitely seen the results from them. If you've made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for continuing to watch until the end. And also guys, please remember to hit that subscribe button if you already haven't, and also please remember to hit the like button before you leave, because it helps with my YouTube algorithm so that this video can keep coming up in the faces of people who could actually use this information the same way that you have. Other than that, I'm going to see you in the next video. Cheers.